Neil Dorsey is the most anticipated prospect in baseball and in this entire franchise series, if we're being honest. The two-way star has been the talk of the league ever since he was clearly going to be the #1 pick in the MLB draft, and perhaps the most anticipated prospect since at least Jackson Holliday, if not back further than that. So today we see his professional career take off, and I talked about it a little bit in the spring training live stream, but what we do with Neil Dorsey in terms of how patient or unpatient we are with him is going to be a very tricky balance, because while I think he's a really good prospect both as a pitcher and as a hitter, I think it's fairly clear that he is further along as a hitting prospect. So how we balance, getting him on the field to help out our offense when he's clearly going to be one of the best hitters in the lineup as soon as we call him up, versus how much time we give him to develop as a pitcher is going to be a very tough balance that I would love to hear your ideas on, of course, in the comments section below. I could see him coming up as soon as this late this year, or we could spend multiple years in the minors with him, and I want to hear your thoughts on it, of course. But with that being said, let's see this guy play some baseball. So here it is, the moment many of us have been waiting for, the professional debut of Neil Dorsey. First pitch he gets, he cranks it to left field, it's down, off against the wall, and even with that very low speed, we've got ourselves an extra base hit for Neil Dorsey. Did not take long to get his back going. Hoping we can get his first career homer in this episode. We'll watch several games trying to make sure that we do. Of course, also in this game is Neil Dorsey's pitching debut. Here is his 4-pitch mix. I think at some point in his career we could add a 5th. That's not entirely uncommon, and he starts with a lineout. Doris maybe getting a little unlucky there. You'll notice a couple things with him. I have updated the shoes as per request, as well as down to low socks. So these updates courtesy of some requests in the comments section. Now I do have like his glasses and his gloves still Under Armour, because that was his previous theme. So I haven't updated those yet. We should probably get him all up Nike and Jordan themed, as he will get his first career strikeout on that beautiful fastball low in the zone. Good first inning for him. He's back up to bat in the second. This one's cut sharply through the infield, and could we see his first RBI? Yes, we do. An RBI single brings home Cortez. 2 for 2 with a run and an RBI. An excellent start for Dorsey. Can he keep the things going here on the mound? He has plenty of run support in this game. This one hit pretty deep, but Doe able to track it down just in front of the warning track. Full count pitch is fouled off, and running it down is Cortez, and he's actually going to get there. Did not look like that was going to be a catchable ball. There's our 5th round pick from this last year's draft making the play. Martin, though, gets this one deep to center field, and it is a home run for the Flying Squirrels. The first allowed by Dorsey. That is his weakest per 9, 45 home runs per 9, something that's likely going to be a problem for him for a while, especially if we end up calling him up a little earlier than his pitching would suggest, because of how good of a hitter he is. Not a great per 9 to have low, but so far I'm liking what I'm seeing for the most part on the mound with a great slider there to, yeah, another strikeout. Top of the order back up, and Tavares will walk. Second time, Dorsey's given up a free base. Valenzuela line out there to first for out number 2. Flying Squirrels trying to get the second run aboard, and another walk allowed by Dorsey. So a little bit of a walk problem here, despite the fact that it is his highest per 9. But he gets Morrison again, one of the higher rated prospects in the Padres organization. Excuse me, Giants. He's a Giant. He's not a Padre here. He goes down looking there at the beautiful curve ball on that pitch, so can't go 3 for 3. Back up in the 4th. We'll start with another grounder over to first. There's been a lot of action over at first base so far. Baldwin. It's a second and another grounder, so 2 up, 2 down. Start the 4th with a couple of infield plays. I'll bring up Martin. He's 1 for 1, and he goes down looking. What a pitch for strike 3. Showing some really awesome strikeout stuff here today is Dorsey in his debut. So far has only allowed 1 hit, but it has been a homer, and here is hit number 2. Right up the middle for the leadoff single. Now Lozano up to the plate. We get 1 out, but can't quite turn 2 on it. So a man still on first, 1 out here for Tavares. Struck well to right field. And there's our first look at Clemente Herrera. Another guy I definitely want to keep a close eye on this season. But this episode is all about Neil Dorsey, who allows a hit here to the outfield. Herrera throws it in, and we've got runners on the corners with 2 gone. McCain over to short, and the force out will get him out of the inning. So still just 1 run allowed through 5 for Dorsey. Here is his next at-bat. We've got the bases juiced, and unfortunately, nothing's going to happen. That would have been an excellent time to see his first grand slam. I was really hoping for it there. Morrison struck out his first 2 ABs, but going to get on base to lead off the 6th. For the Flying Squirrels, bringing up Eldridge. That pitch was a bit of a miss. It's deep to right field, and it is just not able to be fielded by Herrera. Close play there, and no runner scores, but it will be 2 in scoring position with no 1 out, which would end the day for Dorsey. Not going to allow him to pitch himself out of that jam. So his pitching debut is done. Luckily, Johnny Brennan would come in and not allow either of those runners to score. So just 1 earned run for Dorsey in this game, with a couple of hits to start off. Couldn't quite finish out the game strong, but the Flying Squirrels will go down here. 6-1. 13 hits for our Yard Goats. And just an impressive day on both sides of the plate. And Dorsey showing off some exciting stuff that's got me hyped for his future as a pitcher. Costco would be player of the game there, 4 for 5 in that one. Well, let's watch some more at-bats. I'd love to see Dorsey's first home run here. Here we get this one down in the outfield. Much like the first at-bat of his first game, he has that extreme opposite hitting tendency. So you're going to see a lot of hits just like that from him. So far, already the second big-time extra base hit we've seen from Neil. Getting a lot of really good contact. We just love to get him to lift one out. Back up in the third inning. Hits it right towards second. So a grounder there makes him 1 for 2. Back up in the fifth. Yard goes down 0-3. This one's deep and it is off against the wall. Another extra base hit for Dorsey. Not going to ever really see him hit triples, most likely. But he is showing an ability to consistently get some power over there into left field against these right-handed pitchers. Just barreling up these balls greatly. Down 0-4 here in the seventh. A pop fly ball into foul territory. We'll end the inning for the Yard Goats. Offense unable to get much going in that second game. Let's try for a third. Hitting 444 through 2 games. I think we'll take that. This one hit into left field again, and for the third straight game, he started off with a hit. This one will have to just settle for a single this time around, though. Dorsey lifts it to left once more, but this time got underneath it. So Tavares will snag it, getting him out. 2 men on top of the fifth. Dorsey, worm burner through the middle infield. And that should pick up another RBI for Dorsey, and it does. The second time he's driven in one of his teammates so far this season. Now Yard Goats up 6-0, top of the seventh. And a lazy fly ball here from Dorsey. Will retire him, but 3 straight multi-hit games to start out his career. Still waiting on that first home run. As a side note, in this game, Herb Reyes would pitch 7 shutout innings, so he is off to an awesome start here in his second season. 10 hits for the Yard Goats, only 4 for the Squirrels. Here is our first look at the draft class for this year. Starting off with the closer is not a good sign for a generational prospect to be in the class, which is honestly, I think, a good thing. There's been a generational prospect in 2 classes in a row. It's time to have a class without one. Make it a little bit more interesting as to who we could take in the first round. Of course, as a reminder, we pick at number 4 after the lottery. We also, because of that prospect promotion incentive, have picks at 32, 42, 73, and 78. 5 picks in the top 78. We have a big opportunity to land a lot of talented young players. That puts some pressure on me to have a good scouting cycle. I hope we can get it done. But down the board, we got another closer. Oh my goodness. The top 6 players in this class are all closers. You have to get to number 7. So before you get another closer, that shows to me we might not have a very strong class. I could totally be wrong. And because we have so many picks in the top 78, this could be the class where maybe we take a really talented reliever early, maybe at 32. I'm not talking at 4, of course, but at 32, maybe one of these guys is still available. They all look like they could potentially be really good to me based on the first glance. Do we spend a little time scouting closers in preparation for 32 or 42 to be one of these top guys? After that, you start to get into some starters. So the best position player in the class based on MLB ranks, of course, is Vance Palma here. He looks like he has a decent skill set, maybe not exactly what we're looking for. Before this season started, I kind of wanted to take an inventory of what our needs might be, and I came up with 3 needs. Number 1 need, I think, is we still want a first baseman who can hit for some serious power. Taking a first glance at the class, there are 4 guys in the top 36 that we could scout. Nieve's not going to be very good, though, unfortunately. He's probably going to start. He's going to be really similar, honestly, to Omar Figueroa, so probably not for us. Juan Rocha here. Looks like he could be a very good hitter against righties, at least. At a lefty bat. We don't have a ton of lefty bats. Charlie Joseph, definitely interested in scouting him. Really good power potential here, so I want to scout him. He's probably going to be somebody we scout very early on in the process. And then Michael Chin as well. So a couple of guys that look like they might be absolute mashers, and then another guy who looks like he could hit righties really well. So I'm going to scout all three of these guys. The number 2 thing I want in this class is a lefty pitcher. We just, for some reason, can't find any lefties. And it's not just our team. There just aren't a lot being generated in this franchise file. Just unlucky. Usually I feel like it's easier to find lefties. If we go through the MLB ranks for pitchers, you get Sloan here at 16. You get a guy at 26, 41, 43, 47. We just got to hope that one of these guys, 62, here it comes again, is good for us and that we could take with one of our top 50 picks. I think I would like to take a lefty starter if, of course, the talent fits. And then that last skill set could really come from any position, but I'm still looking for that leadoff guy that can play good defense, have good speed on the base pass, and hit for decent average. Kind of like that Jason Lindsay mold. I passed on him a couple drafts ago to get Jose Barreto, and I'm looking to fill that void in the lineup. But for week 1, if we just go quickly through pitchers, we got Central, International East, Central, International East, Central, Central, International, Central. So it looks like it's going to be another very strong Central draft. So, taking a look here at what we're doing, I think the first prospect we're going to look at here will be Charlie Joseph. Then we will be scouting starting pitchers in the Central, as well as discovering Central pitchers. Let's get back to a few more Dorsey games, shall we? Still waiting on that first home run. Top of the first, no outs, 2 on, and he gets himself a hit. This time over deep in right field. And he drives in another run. Once again, that extreme opposite hitting tendency. It's going to get us a lot of hits that look exactly like that. This one, a ground out to first off the glove of the first baseman, but still with that speed, easily able to recover. Can he pick up another RBI? Yes, he does here. So he's doing a great job of driving his teammates in. I just want to see him drive himself in, you know, with a little bit of a long ball. But he also has his 4th consecutive multi-hit game. This guy is just getting on base at an extremely high rate with his singles and his doubles in his professional start. Might not be seeing the homer that I want, but we are seeing a lot of consistency, hitting 500 now with 4 RBIs to his first 4 games. And this one's down the line, just fair past the third baseman. Should be enough for him to get 2, and he slides safely in. A 4th double already for the young man. Just consistently getting on base and honestly consistently getting extra bases along with that. Grounder here to short will retire him in the 4th. Back up in the 6th. 1 man on, 0 outs, and another base knock for Dorsey. We knew his bat would not take long to develop in the minors, and he's showing the fact that he has no problem at all hitting against this AA pitching. It's his 5th game and another multi-hit game. Let's add another. Through the middle infield there for another single. In the bottom of the 8th, the Yard Goats need to come up with something to win, but they wouldn't do it there. So, I think this will be the last game that we'll watch. I've been really hoping to find his first homer, but we get through another start of his, and he still doesn't have a homer. I think we're going to call it there. But get to see him pitch for a second time here in the episode. Hoping it can be just as good as the first, and he'll start it off with a grounder over to short. 0-0. Here, one gone, and another ground out. Make it 2 down here in the first. And this one will get through the infield, so unable to get the 1-2-3 inning to start off. But can we come through scoreless here? The throw from behind the plate is on time and on target. Caught stealing to end the inning. Really well thrown ball there from the catcher. Up to the plate now for the first time. It is deep to left field, but not quite deep enough. So a fly out to start the game for Dorsey offensively, and a beautiful four-seamer to pick up his first strikeout of the game. This one chopped up the middle. Diving is Guerrero, but it'll be a single for Franklin. Puts us in double play territory if we can get it, but that's not going to be the case here. Down in right field. Herrera with the throw, but not quite able to make what would have been an insane throw there. 3-2 pitch was not even competitive, so a walk here will load the bases. 1-2, and it's in for a strikeout, a huge out. Takes the sac fly off the table. And one more pitch here could get him out of this jam scot-free, but instead it'll be the second walk of the inning and the first run allowed. Wouldn't last much longer, though, as the changeup will get another strikeout on the board for Dorsey. Gonna get his glove checked by the umpire, even though he threw like 30 pitches that inning. Yard Goats supplying him a decent amount of run support once more as we are into the third inning. They clearly want to rack up the wins for Dorsey. But another walk here. Very surprising just how much he is allowing these walks. That's as high as per 9. Slapped over to third, but handled by Max Anderson for the second out. And this one hit the third, should be an easy out. So a clean third inning for Dorsey. 2-2 pitch is high and in for a strikeout. And I would accidentally simulate the fourth inning pitching for Neil Dorsey. You could see that it was a clean 1-2-3 inning. Did not mean, of course, to simulate that fourth inning for him. Was trying to get to his fourth inning pitching, but hit the wrong button. So 1-2-3 inning for him in the fourth, and we're back here in the fifth. One gone here. This one was a miss right over the middle. Going to be in for a base knock. Last game, he lasted 5 innings. Can we see he lasts a bit longer here in this second start? Will Young got a decent hold of this ball, but Cortez tracks it down over and left. 2 gone here, top of the fifth. Clark up to the plate. Pitch low in the zone is cranked deep, and it is gone. His second home run allowed. 1 in each game, and this one is a 2-run shot for Clark. This continues to be just a theme with our minor league pitching. They'll have these really good games that are just spoiled by allowing home runs. Braden Ward would come in to pinch hit for Dorsey, which would end his day on both sides, both offense and on the mound. The Yard Goats would come out victorious in this game, however. 4-5 with 11 hits on the board, and that's going to end our debut episode for Neil Dorsey, at least the gameplay portion of it. And that is where we will end off the episode. We're at April 11th, 2027. Our big league roster is 6-9. Nice. The first 15 games of the season. Unfortunate we weren't able to see Neil Dorsey hit a home run today. So unlikely to see his first career a home run at the minor league level. We'll make sure we at least get it at the major league level, but we saw him hit over 400 today in his 32 at-bats, first at-bats as a professional player, and proving that he is indeed ready to rise up the ranks pretty quickly as a hitter already. While the pitching certainly wasn't bad today at all. That 1.6 whip is a little high, and proving that he's a little bit further away there. He does go up 1 overall because he has +1 fielding. Interesting. So we'll continue to check on Dorsey throughout this season, as well as some other prospects. I think we got a lot of other guys in the minors that will be worth taking a look at. You know, Jose Barreto being one of them. Off to a pretty good start here in the season, a whip right around that 1.0. But as for this episode, that is pretty much all I've got. So we'll be back soon with more Colorado Rockies franchise soon, and I'll see you then. Go Rockies.